All right, so I was in the studio doing Finster, and they had on the table in the waiting room a sheet of paper that said auditions for new monsters on the Power Rangers. I said, oh, this is great. Let me leaf through the pages, and there was a couple of guest monsters, and then there was Lord Zedd. So I thought Lord Zedd was just one of the guest monsters that would be in an episode or two. So I picked it up and I said, who's Lord Zedd? Scott Page was the producer, of post-production. I said to Scott, what's this Lord Zedd? He said, well, yeah, he's going to be the new bad guy. Oh, great. So I read the character description and I asked him, yeah, I'd like to read for that. He said, no, are you kidding? You're Finster, you do all these high voices. They were used to hearing me do all these high voices, like, oh, my queen, and Wowzer was Ratso Catso, who sounded like this. Hey, Wowzer, give me a bite of your chocolate. And Elmer in Hello Spencer sounded sort of like this. Gee, Howell, I want to go to the play tonight. So they weren't used to hearing deep voices out of me. I said, no, really, let me try. So he said, all right, yeah, take it home. Come in and read in a couple of days. So I made an appointment to read. So I took it was literally one paragraph of dialogue and one little paragraph of description, saying he was big and regal and uses his staff to blah, 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 and whatever, to go down to earth and yada, and that's about it. Didn't even say it was a red character. So I said, Lord Zedd, well, let me see what I can do. I had done a voice about a year before for a character in Battlefield Earth, which was everybody read Battlefield Earth? Yeah, great. It was a decology. It was 10 books. No, it wasn't that. It was Battlefield Earth was one book. Mission Earth was 10 books. Anyway, Battlefield Earth had this character called Lumbar Hist, and he was the head of sort of the intergalactic FBI. This is straight science fiction. So it was an intergalactic FBI, and he was the head of it. So he was a pretty snaky character. They were modeling him after J. Edgar Hoover. So it was our embarrassment. Anyway, that's politics. We won't get into that. Lumbar Hist was sort of a hissy character, so I kind of did something like this. And with the microphone, I was able to amplify it somewhat, so I didn't have to really strain my throat. And, yes, I made it very hissy. So he sounded like this, very hissy. And I went in and auditioned for that, and I didn't get the part. It was one of the best auditions I ever did. I took the copy and I really got into it, heart and soul. And he was such a great bad guy. And they played it back, and I said, wow, the casting director said, wow, that was great. You just transformed it. And when they say that, you're sure you're not going to get the part. Anyway, so I said to myself, I said, self, you got to use this voice somehow. So I kept it in the back of my noodle. And then when Lord Zedd came out, I said, oh yeah, Lumbar Hist, let me see what I can do with that. So I said, it's not deep enough, so I have to deepen my voice somehow. And I said to myself, let's face it, I will never sound like James Earl Jones. And I figured, well, there'd probably be a little bit of Darth Vader in this character. So how do I deepen my voice? So I said, well, Lumbar Hist was all up in the nose and the throat. So I gotta get that same quality, but have it come from the diaphragm. So this became this. Oh, Ah, Power Rangers. He goes, shall be mine. And I said, well, I got it. I got it. Let me go in and audition with that. So I worked on it with the tape recorder for a while, which I do for most auditions if I have the material. It's always a good idea. I'm pretty diligent about what I do. And it's always good to... You never hear your voice through your ear the same way as it's going out. So I worked on that, and I worked on my diction, so he was very regal. And I went in and I auditioned. And Scott Page said, great, that was great. Right, So, no, after a week, I got a call back, which is the natural process. They were narrowing it down to I guess 3 or 4 people. So I went in and I did the audition again with the same paragraph of dialogue. And I asked Scott, "Do you have a picture of the character?" "No, we don't have a rendering yet of it." Okay. Just stick with your voice. It's great. He said. So I stuck with it. Same paragraph. Read it again. "Ah, yes, we're going to come down to Earth and we're going to destroy Angel Road." Just that kind of informational stuff. It was pretty dry, so you had to put something into it. And I did it again. And a week later, Scott calls me up and said, "They like you, but they don't believe it's you." I said, "Who else could it be?" What they really meant is they don't believe that I could maintain a voice like that for a number of episodes. So I went in and I auditioned again with some longer material that they came up with, a couple of paragraphs, and did my thing. "Ah, yes, blah, 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 blah." Sounded great, heard the playback, said, "Okay, yeah." And finally, I had to end up calling Eric Rollman. You know Eric Rollman. Eric Rollman was one of the producers of Power Rangers. He was more on the post-production side, I believe. So I called up Eric Rollman and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, we don't know whether it's you or not. We love the voice and all that, but I said, "Are you worried that I can't maintain the voice?" He said, "Yeah, it's going to be a lot of episodes." I said, "A lot of episodes? I thought it would be 20 episodes." That was the usual stage for guest characters. I thought it was a guest character. I assured him that I could maintain the voice. So to make a long story a little shorter, another week goes by. I get a call from Scott Page's secretary saying, "You got the job." It was a long haul, which is a lot of my work has been fighting and clawing to get the part. It's never easy. Sometimes it's easy. When I did Spider-Man, that was easy. I did one audition and they called up my agent and said, "We love his voice for this." I couldn't believe it. It was the worst audition I ever did. But that's how I got Lord Zedd. And I thought, all right, he's going to let... I had no idea at that point what he looked like. Finally, they came up with the first time I saw him was when I went in to do the first episode. I said, well, it fits, thank God. I don't have to change anything. And I had no idea they were getting rid of Rita. So, first episode, I think it was, they came in and got rid of Rita. So I was the head honcho. They said, "Oh, this is going to last a while." And the rest, shall we say, is history.